Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 52 of Speak On It, the Ray Lewis episode. We've been at this thing for a year, 52 episodes. That's a whole year of episodes.
52 episodes, 52 weeks. We have been able to bless everyone's ears with our incredible sports take. My brother, I can't believe we've done a year's worth of these. It's awesome, has it not been?
It's been great. It's been a blast. I've had a blast. I hope you've had a blast. I hope
Man,
the listeners
I've had
have
more than a blast. And I'll tell you what. Here's some more players who wore 52. Of course, because we're going to talk about the Packers, I have to mention Clay Matthews. Come on,
Fair.
Khalil Mack, Patrick Willis. Come on now, we got to show love to Patrick Willis. That's the best ones I got.
Is there a better linebacker number than 52? I feel like 52 is like the ultimate linebacker number.
That's like the 52 is the 12 for linebackers. 52 is the 12 for linebackers. Like
that's a good one.
If you're a linebacker, 52 is a number that you should, I think, inspire to wear because it is.
I am your host, Danny Ocean, as always, joined by the smoothest man on the planet, Low Steam Mix. You've already told us how you're doing, but I'm going to ask again because it just sounds so good. How you living, baby?
Hey, man, you already know when you see this Nas fade, it can only be one brother, the good brother, back from a little West Coast trip, doing blessed and better than ever. As always, it's a pleasure to be here with you, my brother, Danny Ocean. People, 52 episodes to speak on it. I'm excited, and I can't wait for 52 more of them things.
Hey, now we cooking with grease. As always, this show is sponsored by goingfor2.com. Head over to goingfor2.com for all your daily fantasy needs. The deal is over, but they are still offering custom fantasy podcast for your league. The goingfor2.com fantasy analyst will come into will host a podcast with you in your league to go over your draft strategies, etc. It's a lot of fun. I suggest you do it. Head over to goingfor2.com for more details. Tonight the show is jam-packed. A lot of stuff happened. We wrote our notes, and then some news broke, and then we wrote more notes, and then more news broke.
So it's wild because what the people don't see is a lot of the back and forth, the behind the scenes stuff. So let me give people a little rundown of where we was at. It was 10 a.m. Eastern time standard. I'm at my work from home setup. I checked the show notes. I'm reading through the show notes. We was gonna start off with a little Calvin Ridley. We was gonna go into some Russell Westbrook, and I kid you not, people, in 2 hours, we got like league altering news for both conferences. I know we're about to go into them, but y'all don't understand. Like we kind of reworked everything of what we was getting ready to talk about because of this. So, Danny, I got this. Actually, I got this. So let's kick it off. Let's kick it off with Russell Wilson.
Yes.
So I don't know if most of y'all heard, but Russell Wilson is no longer a Seattle Seahawk. Unfortunate. Well, depends on who you're a fan of, but he is no longer a Seattle Seahawk. He was traded today to the Denver Broncos. Let me get the full details of this trade. So the Broncos will send Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick to Seattle for Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick. So, Danny, I'm going to start by asking you, where does Denver rank now in the AFC after this trade?
So I actually sat down and wrote who I thought, like I broke it down into tiers, like tier 1s are your contenders, tier 2s can contend if everything falls right, tier 3 that we don't care about. And this is in no particular order. So tier 1, the Bengals, because they just won the Super Bowl, they're the champs until someone knocks them off. The Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. Like for me, those are the 4. Tier 2, the Broncos, the Titans, the Chargers, the Patriots. And then I tried to talk myself into the Raiders and Browns, throwing them in that mix. I just can't do it, right?
Raiders were a playoff team, so I feel like you have to give them more respect because they were a playoff team.
I can sneak the Raiders in there. I can't sneak the Browns in there because Baker Mayfield is the quarterback. I think the AFC is so loaded, and the AFC West in particular. Denver, I mean, it just puts them in the conversation instead of being in tier 3 with the nobodies, the teams that nobody cares about. So they're in the conversation, and if everything breaks their way, can I see Denver in the Super Bowl? Absolutely.
So where I think this puts Denver, I think it puts them in an interesting situation, right? Because I think when you think about like on paper what they gave up a lot of picks, but as the GM of the Rams said, fuck them picks. So I'm with you, fuck them picks. So let's talk about the players they lost. They lost Drew Lock. That's an average of 2 to 3 to 4 decent QB games from him, and then a whole lot of mid. So okay, you upgrade at the quarterback position significantly. They lost
Yes.
Noah Fant, which I believe might come back to bite him because he was an up and coming good tight end. I think whatever quarterback comes to Seattle, whichever one figures that out, tight end is going to be a safe blanket outside of DK Metcalf. So I think I'm gonna say that in the aspect of pure tight end piece, I think the Seahawks really did get better. Obviously, they have to figure out the quarterback position to get them the ball. Shelby Harris, I believe, was a safety. If I'm
I think
correct.
so. Let me double check.
Um,
He's a defensive end.
Defensive end. Well, I mean, obviously, I think with this, they're trying to. I think they wanted a really good player, and they got one in return. So I feel like I see the vision in Seattle. On paper, I'm saying that. I think the Broncos got a lot better. I think the Broncos got
Absolutely.
better. But what I will say is when you think about in context is of where does this now put them in the AFC? I mean, as you pointed out there, I would agree with your tiered system. I would say that this brings Denver into the conversation, but I don't think I have them as tier 2, I would say. I think I would have them more tier 1. I think when you look
Okay.
about it on paper, you think about their division just in one because the best way to make the playoffs is to win your division. Obviously, you have the Chargers. Obviously, you have the Chiefs. You have the Raiders who are going to give you 2 hard games as well. So right there, I mean, at best, I can see going 3-3 now, or 4. What's 6 games? So what was that? 4-2.
4-2.
So I can see them being in that range, but do I think they're going to sweep the Chargers or Chiefs? No. Do I think they're going to sweep the Raiders? Maybe if the Raiders pull a Raiders. So I think this puts them in a conversation where they'll be competitive. But honestly, I think when you think about the Broncos, I mean, I think they are who they are, and we'll see what other weapons and pieces they get to surround Westbrook, surround Wilson with, but we'll see. Noah Fant was a big part of their offense last year as well.
Yeah, and I think we should note that this draft is pretty deep at tight end. So if the Broncos want to try to replace Noah Fant with maybe a younger stud in the draft, they'll have the opportunity to do that because
I heard the tight end out of Iowa was pretty decent.
yeah.
It was pretty decent.
So
So I think we maybe touched on it earlier. Do you think with this trade, the AFC West is the best division in football?
yes,
So
yes,
you're taking out the NFC West and now crowning the AFC West.
you have a division with Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, and Derek Carr is nothing to sneeze at. Like Derek Carr is a top 10 to 12 quarterback. The other 3 guys can potentially be top 7, and Pat is number 1. Well, Pat's in contention for 1.
It's funny because this is actually the year that the AFC West plays the NFC West, and I've heard that this is actually the game where the Broncos will be traveling to Seattle.
No.
So Russ will be back, and he will be playing.
No. I did not know that.
Look up the last time the Broncos and the Seahawks played. Wherever they played, they're going to play the opposite this year because I think this is the year the AFC West plays the NFC West.
I got to look this up. I didn't know that. That is absolutely wild. Let's get out of the way, Ed. I don't care. They will be in Seattle.
You can't write. I mean, you can't script it. I mean, you can because I think the NFL writers are getting the season right with this one. But it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be interesting. We're going to see how the AFC West and the NFC West fare out. When they play. I still lean on the NFC being the best conference. I mean, best division. I still lean on the NFC West being the best division, but I think the AFC West, I think if you're thinking about pure quarterback play, the AFC West is probably best in the league. I mean,
oh yeah.
You got
Listen,
four
man.
really good quarterbacks. Um, so let's switch gears to the other conference, the NFC now. Do you think with this trade and Seattle sending Russ over, do you think this puts more pressure on these NFC teams to put in the call about that man, Deshaun Watson from the Texans?
Yes, right. So a few things. So Deshaun Watson, I believe the some of the women that accused him are being called in front of a grand jury on Friday. So we're going to have a lot of clarity on Friday if charges get pressed against Deshaun Watson or not, right? And if charges do not get pressed again, I mean, if Deshaun is not charged with anything and Friday is the last step, oh hell yeah! If you're an NFC team and you think you're a quarterback away, because right now the best quarterbacks in NFC are Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott, right? Like Kirk Cousins is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC right now. If you think and if you don't mind the blowback you're going to get from signing or bringing Deshaun Watson to your team, oh yeah, the phone's going to be on fire Friday night and this weekend. If everything ends on Friday or whenever this is settled with the grand jury.
Do you know what? And before I say this, what's good, Kyle? Of course, I got to show up. So I was reading a report earlier today, and I think I see their vision and why they did it. So I read a report earlier today that the Washington Commanders had offered the Seahawks, I believe it was 4 first-round picks for Russell Wilson. Let me tell you guys why I think the Washington Commanders are making sure that this statement is known. They're putting what I think they're doing is letting the Texans know this is the offer.
Yeah.
Like this is look, if we'll offer this for Wilson, you'll see we can give you guys this for Watson. Maybe what's your point? And I think they want to do that now, as you mentioned, before this grand jury maybe gets out on Friday. Because if he ends up not being charged, then they've already kind of seen, hey, the Texans have already seen, hey, the Commanders are willing to pay this price. So I think there's some PR games there being played. To the original question on the pressure in the NFC, absolutely, man. Are you kidding me? I mean, if you're a Seattle Seahawk fan, if you're a Washington Commanders fan, I think if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, I think if you're a New Orleans Saints fan, I think if you're if you're a Carolina Panther fan, you're staying tuned in to what happens on Friday this week because if Deshaun Watson doesn't get charged, and because I don't know, obviously if he's guilty or if there's charges that need to be pressed, let's get him out of here. But if he's cleared innocent, I think if you're any one of the teams I just mentioned, you're making some phone calls.
Oh yeah, and I forgot about Matt Stafford. Thank you, Kyle. I will say, even though as impressive as the Commanders could offer, the Eagles could offer more. Like the Eagles could offer more for Deshaun Watson if they go that route. I'm not saying they should go that route.
Always do this, people.
They
I
do
want y'all
though.
to know. Earlier today, me and Danny were texting, and we were just talking about the Eagles, and I could tell he was sick that the Eagles didn't get Russ Wilson, because for everyone who's been watching over these last couple of weeks, Danny's been on this Eagles are going to get Russell Wilson train because the Seahawks are going to want these picks, yada yada yada. We got all these picks, yada yada yada. We fleeced the Colts for Carson Wentz, yada yada yada. And this entire time, if you've been watching, I've been like, no, you don't learn. And I had to kind of reiterate that again earlier today, and I was like, the best hope y'all got now is Deshaun Watson.
Listen,
but there's nothing wrong with Jalen Hurts. And what I say, 1 in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Stop worrying about the QBs you don't have and worry about the young QB that you have in Jalen Hurts, who actually got y'all to the playoffs and can actually play.
So let me clear up some disinformation because you're spreading false news right now.
Now I'm spreading false news.
I have always said that if Jalen Hurts is our quarterback week 1, I am okay with that. But if you have an opportunity to go get a guy who can be a top 5 quarterback who has at least 5 years left in his prime, then you move heaven and earth to get that man. Give me 5 years. Because before before Russell hurt his finger, he was putting up elite numbers. If you give me 5 years of that compared to 7 to 10 years of maybe some mid or some up and down or the unknown of Jalen Hurts.
You've seen Russell Wilson start off hot and fall off in the back half of many
because he has a terrible offensive line, and that beating takes its wear and tear on you over the season. The
gosh.
Eagles have the best
You give him
offensive
more
line in
excuses
football.
than a man in jail.
The Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in football, and I promise you, if Russell Wilson was an Eagle, that those numbers would get even better because he has a line that can actually protect him.
But one important piece that you're missing that I'm glad that I saw some reports about this was that the Seahawks didn't want to move him in conference. People understand this. When you trade in conference, there's 100% chance you will play this team that you're trading with in the next 2 or 3 years, and that's just not worth it. It's not worth it unless it's Matt Stafford. Then it's like, forget it. Like, we'll do whatever. So this is why I say pay attention to who. Like, if you're talking about some of your best players, automatically assume it's a team in the opposite conference that needs him and is going to get him.
He should have been an Eagle. He should have been an Eagle. He should have been an Eagle, man. And that's no offense to Jalen Hurts, but Russell Wilson has proven to be top 5. Like, again, I have no problem with with Jalen being our quarterback week 1. Like, I have no problem. I just know Russell can make a lot of the throws that Jalen struggles with.
He's young. Give him some time. Speaking of young players, there is another young NFL player in the news. Man, I'm trying to talk about this without laughing, dog. Okay, I'm gonna get my shit together. So speaking of young players, there's another young player in the news. A brother by the name of Calvin Ridley. Y'all may have heard, but if you didn't, let's talk about it. Let's speak on it. So Calvin Ridley, former Bama wide receiving star, currently a wide receiving star for the Falcons. He has been suspended indefinitely for at least the 2022 season for gambling. So Calvin Ridley admitted to betting $1,500 on parlays during the season. It was 3, 5, and 8 team parlays, I believe. He was away from the team during the bets, so he didn't have any inside information. So Danny, I'm gonna ask you: does the punishment fit the crime?
Before I answer, I have warned y'all about these parlays. Like, I've been preaching to D for months. I done told y'all about these parlays. I told you, put the phone down.
Nah. Don't you go there. Calvin Ridley, he saw the way Julius Randle was ruining people's tickets, and he was like, nah, give me the 3-team parlay. He probably took Falcons money line, like probably 5% of the country. Man, are you Calvin? $1,500? I need to see what your ticket was looking like, because we might have the same ticket. And if your ticket was busted, man, I know you was upset, Calvin.
I bet probably $11 million.
He's probably taking the under on Falcons points.
And he should have. He knew what was out there without him. He's smart. Well, he's not that smart because he lost $11 million betting $1,500. But to the question, does punishment fit the crime? And this is going to be an unpopular answer, but yes, it does. To a degree, I don't like it, but the basis for any professional league is that for the fan who's watching, that we believe that the two teams or whoever's competing does not have an outside influence and some sort of outside disadvantage. And that's the foundation of the league. So if there's even a crack in that foundation, the league will crumble because fans will think games are fixed and you're essentially just watching professional wrestling. So Calvin is just the example. A whole season seems really, really harsh, especially for a guy that was away from the team and didn't have any insider information. But this is the NFL saying, we better not catch you sniffing, putting money on NFL games, or that's your career. This is the best case scenario for the NFL, that it was someone who was not with the team, because if he was with the team and was doing this, he'd be done. That is his career.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest piece, was that he was away from the team that when he did it. And for those who didn't know, he got caught because he placed a legal bet in Florida and his account got flagged. Rule number 1, somebody should have been putting those bets in for Calvin. Or
yes,
start there. I think, to answer the question, I do think the punishment fits the crime. A lot of what you're saying. I think the NFL really does have to set a precedent. This cannot be the standard, cannot be tolerated. What I also think, and I think you're hitting on it a little bit, I think this sends a message to the other NFL players, because the NFL knows they have players gambling.
Yes.
There's nothing they can do about it, but there's nothing they can do about it so long as the general masses, you can't pinpoint and accurate, right? You can't pinpoint like,
Right.
oh, he was betting on this game, this, and this. If you don't know, then it's, if you don't know, then you don't know. So what I think they're trying to do is hey, I know y'all out here taking the over on Cowboys points and the under on Dak Prescott yards. If we find out,
that's it.
Dunzo for you. So you better have your little cousin or somebody else putting bets in for you or whatever and figuring that out. Because if we find you, Calvin Ridley is the lightest of punishments. I want to make that very clear. What Calvin Ridley got is the lightest of punishments people will get. I think Danny hit it on the head. It's best that he was away from the team, because had brother been in that locker room and he was taking the over on like his own receiving yards or touchdowns or Matt Ryan yards, oh buddy.
That's it.
Oh buddy. Oh,
he'd be saying, "Can I take your order?"
Now, I think to what Kyle was saying in the chat, he says now the NFL's punishment for domestic violence doesn't so optically look good when it looks back comparing the two. I agree. I think when you do something like this, which I think we're getting, it's just part of our next question, when you get into something, like a gambling situation where you're talking about the integrity of the league. Something else people also are harping back on is the fact that someone like a Ray Rice only got X amount of games, or Adrian Peterson only got X amount of suspended games for their like domestic violence situations, which I agree to an extent. I think when you're talking about the integrity of the game, I mean, you're talking about a lot of the NFL's bottom line pockets, because you're talking about the overall integrity of the product that they're putting on the field versus an individualized incident where you can take said individual and remove them from the brand. When people start questioning the integrity of the brand and the shield, it's ugly. And to your point, you don't want people to think you're out here watching WWE, because people be getting in Vince's ass.
Yes, they
now. To you NFL script writers, because I know y'all be writing this little script a little bit. Y'all knew what y'all was doing when y'all let Russ put his news out an hour after Aaron put his news out.
You calling conspiracy? We really got to get a conspiracy sound effect, because we be throwing them joints out there.
Because it don't be looking so crazy. But
we'll add a few. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't saying them. Go ahead.
I will add a few more things where it is very fair to acknowledge the hypocrisy of the NFL punishing Calvin Ridley for sports gambling when the NFL is in bed with all the sports books.
Oh,
that's
man.
Like it is okay to acknowledge
that's
that
hilarious. You're gonna be like, you're seeing here DraftKings lineup presented by FanDuel. We now present to you with the news that Calvin Ridley has been suspended for the 2022 NFL season for sports gambling. Like, what?
We can take bets on when Calvin Ridley returns?
Yo, I had this question, and I tweeted this out. If Tom Brady was to put down an NFL future bet for Tom Brady to win the MVP, and it's like plus 2,100, then in a month, Tom Brady comes out of retirement, has a great year, and goes on to win the NFL MVP, should he not be punished?
So Tom Brady would have his cousin put that bet in for him, right? Like Tom Brady, Chris Carter said it best, you got to have a fall guy. Tom Brady has multiple fall guys, as we saw in New England with Deflategate. He got a whole roster of fall guys, so that wouldn't happen to Tom Brady. Tom Brady knows how to cheat a system.
Okay, fair enough. Also, what's good, Fantasy Typhoon Studios? Thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing love. All right. Now, let's get into some basketball news.
Let's do it. I've been hyping this story all day.
So last night, I believe it was last night, the Lakers played the Spurs. The Lakers lost. LeBron wasn't playing. He dropped a 56 piece. His knees was like, nah, we need a night off, which I hear you. So last night, basically, Russell Westbrook has been in the news since the game last night. Last week, he mentioned specifically that he didn't have any expectations when he arrived in LA. And now ESPN is reporting that Westbrook has been defiant when it comes to him coming off the bench. It's also been reported that there's no chance that he is a Laker next year. So, Danny, I'm gonna ask you, how do the Lakers get rid of Westbrook, and how much does this failed experience, this failed Russell Westbrook experiment tarnish the Lakers front office views right now?
So there are two ways the Lakers can get rid of Russell Westbrook. They're going to have to trade him, and if they do trade him, they're going to have to throw in that 2027 first-round pick, which is the only decent asset that they have right now, or they eat the money and just right on and waive him. And if I'm the Lakers, it's going to be a tough ask to go to the owner to eat that money. But that 2027 first-round pick is so valuable, and I don't know what package with Russell Westbrook that you can send with that pick that's going to get you anything of value in return, right? During the trade deadline, the Rockets wanted that 2027 first round pick. If they were going to take on Russell Westbrook and they were going to send John Wall, and that's probably the best deal you're going to get. So you're probably going to have to waive him. You're going to eat a lot of money to waive him, but this is definitely going to be an addition by subtraction kind of thing.
Man,
and it does tarnish the front office.
I think the Lakers are at a point now where they got to take the best offer they can get.
Yes.
I think they got to take the best offer they can get. Whichever offer, like someone out here will want Westbrook at some capacity or think they can make something work, or they might be trying to get a disgruntled maybe star player off their roster. Someone out here will take Russ. And I think they got to take the best offer they can get. I think they're at a point now with, the product that's been on the court, to the reports, to all that, where I think both parties are probably going to realize in their best nature for a breakup, I guess. And I mean, what the fuck, man? I want. That's what my biggest thing is to the front office. Like, what the fuck? You guys had DeMar DeRozan right there, mid-range king. And you found a way to instead take the Russell Westbrook trade. Like, what the hell's going on in your brain?
And you have Buddy Hield.
And yeah, Buddy, what the fuck is going on, man? It goes back to maybe Magic went crazy.
Oh no, Magic said you ain't getting me hemmed up.
Yeah,
that might be
went crazy.
That might be the best quit I've ever seen. Like, he quit in a press conference. It was like, I ain't gonna be there. They can do whatever they want to do.
I ain't gonna be there. So maybe Magic has the vision. I mean, if there's one thing about Magic is he gonna find a way to beat the odds, and maybe he beat the odds and found a vision. he saw the vision and was like, no, I don't want to be here with the Lakers no more. And we should have saw the writing on the wall.
Donald Sterling would be so proud of that beat the odds comment.
What a wild time in the culture of the NBA that Donald Sterling owned the team.
The slumlord Donald Sterling was out here.
They got him out of here with no hesitancy.
But he made a profit. That's the crazy thing. Like the same thing with the Panthers owner who was out here squeezing butt cheeks in the office. Oh no, I gotta sell my team and make a profit. Oh God, this is the end of the world.
The end of the world. I just became more rich. I just got to sell my sports team.
Oh no!
What gets me? It's like the owner of the Panthers or the owner of the Texans or Donald Sterling. It's just like, yo, he was really cutting checks. This racist ass motherfucker.
And Dan Snyder is the last one standing. You right, Kyle.
I know. Dan, the last of the good old racist boys.
Dan, it's gonna take an act of God to get Dan Snyder out there. He has dodged that cheerleading scandal.
Let me tell you, they are gonna have to find Dan Snyder with Franklin Saint moving bricks in snowfall for him to have to sell that team. People, if you're a Washington fan, just know Dan Snyder will be the owner for the very, very foreseeable future, and
he bulletproof, man. That man is bullet. He got dirt on everybody. He got enough dirt that he can't get voted out. Let me ask you something about Westbrook, because this story evolved last night when he said, he's kind of saying that people are calling him Westbrook is out of out of bounds, and that how people are sending death threats to his family, which, by the way, if you're sending death threats to his family, you're a dork and you should go to jail. But
Yo,
he
no,
says,
no, no. If you sending death threats to an NBA player's family over basketball, get a fucking life, you fucking
yeah,
loser. You
there you go.
fucking bozo. Get out of here, you loser.
But he
You
was
couldn't play a
essentially
sport
saying
a day in your life. Get out of here, you loser. You're sending death threats over basketball?
over basketball,
Corny.
like what a dork. But he was also saying how his son was proud of his last name, but now when he goes to school, like he's kind of ashamed because people keep calling his dad Westbrook. Do you have any thoughts on this? I have a few thoughts on it, but I want to hear yours first.
Okay. Westbrook is I'm torn because as a professional athlete, yes, some of like the heckling and stuff does come with being a professional athlete. But I definitely hear that comment on your last name, and that's a staple. And you know how much weight the Westbrook last name holds. I think when you're talking about the realm of death threats, it's just so unnecessary. But like trash talk and heckling, I mean, I think when you're in the limelight and you're in your profession and you're in such a prime position every night like Westbrook is, the heckling can be one thing. That's nothing. I think some athletes get fueled by it. But the last name, it's like, but I mean, people were calling LeBron the Queen. So
Right. They call him LeBum, Le GM, like
Le
whatever.
GM, LeBum. We
Le
got
N
Kevin.
word.
Yeah. Oh man, Kevin Durant has like a million different nicknames. People. Well, I mean, people just called Steph Wardell, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
That's tough, right? Because like
Yeah,
you see
it's
both sides.
I get what he's saying, but I'm gonna give some free advice to our listeners as someone who was bullied a little bit over the course of their life. When someone sticks a name to you like that you don't like, there are three ways to handle it. The first one, you ignore it, you don't see it, it's out of sight, out of mind. Number two, you embrace it and you make fun of yourself and you make it funny and people will leave you alone. Or three, you better have a comeback that's so witty and so smart that it shuts the bully up. But with that, you better be ready to fight because you might hit a nerve, especially if you say the wrong things to the wrong person. And
Yeah.
like, and
Look,
what's like, you should just ignore it because you can't clap back at every fan that calls you Westbrook. Like now they're just going to say it the entire every time you touch the ball, someone's going to shout Westbrook.
you know what he's got to start doing? We got to start bringing back athletes calling people broke. I think we need to start doing this. We need to get back to athletes calling people broke. And y'all know my favorite one is the LeBron speech. It's like it gets me going every time I laugh. At the end of the day, those same people that hated on me and doubted me, they got to wake up and live the same life they had when they started today. And I was just like,
oh, talk that cash.
because boy, I knew people hated LeBron off of that because boy, that's a knife shot. It's like ooh, right in your heart.
That is a comeback that is so sweet. You really ain't got nothing for it. Like that's the comeback. Like you got to say something so witty and so truthful, something that'll stab someone in the chest. And LeBron did. I don't think Westbrook would say anything like that. But dude, you're the worst 3-point shooter in the NBA.
People want to think that calling people broke or rich people calling broke people broke or rich people calling regular people broke is bad. And I'm like, nah, because sometimes y'all be getting out of hand. So yeah, talk your shit. Talk your shit. Yo, don't let Eminem hear this one day and he decides, yo, you a fucking broke bum. I'm gonna be like,
we're not talking about that, dude.
I'm gonna be like, well, damn. I mean, technically compared to you, yes.
See, like there's nothing you can say. But you can't just call someone broke. You have to be very creative in the way you call them broke. Like the way LeBron.
Why not?
Because that's an easy flex. Like you got it. Like LeBron said it perfectly.
That's where players take layups.
Westbrook be missing his layups. You gotta wake up tomorrow. You was a bum when you went to sleep, and you a bum when you wake up. Like that, you gotta kill somebody. You got to go for their jugular.
If you're an athlete, if you're a professional athlete, you just got to start hitting them with don't you got to go back to your regular job tomorrow? Yeah, you should get ready for that. Just hit them with that.
Yeah,
don't you got to go to work tomorrow? You should go get back to that.
What time you got to get up for work tomorrow? Oh, okay. And Kyle, Ben Simmons, I mean, this season for all um, players in the NBA who've taken X amount of 3-pointers, like Russell Westbrook is the worst 3-point shooter in the NBA this year. Ben
Oh
Simmons
man.
has not taken a single shot
Yeah,
this
you have
year.
to
And
take
we,
a certain amount to qualify for
yeah,
to be contending.
yo, what is up with Ben not playing on Thursday? Like, I'm really disappointed. His back is fine. I don't believe that. That boy back is fine.
First off, pause. Second, whoa, I don't know where you're. Whoa, buddy. Second off, I think Ben he was finna hear some heinous things inside of
Oh,
that
yeah.
Philadelphia arena. He might still do it because he'll be on the bench, so his teammates going to stand by.
Do
But
you want to face that Philadelphia crowd now in March, or do you want to face them potentially in the playoffs? Because they're going
playoff,
to,
playoff.
no, it's going to be more
Playoffs.
intense in the
Because
playoffs.
playoffs is all about it'll be more focused on the playoff game. I think when you do regular season games, you have to have storylines because you think of it's an 82 season grind. So they have to sell that story for the game. And that would be the story. But I think when you think about in context of a playoff game, I mean, especially if it's like game 3, well, Philadelphia probably is better.
Yeah,
So game
game
1 or
they would
2,
have.
it'll be all about the playoff game and the series, which I think is better for Ben's mental health overall. This Philly stuff will pass over time. I mean, once, especially if they get in a good position with Harden and Embiid, I mean, they'll be more focused on that.
Have you met Philadelphia fans? Well, we booed To for like 6 years.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was because at that time that was the closest y'all was ever going to get to winning a Super Bowl, and y'all ultimately got over that and won another one. I think now they have the best chance they've had in a little bit of time to win a championship, and I think they'll focus their energy on that. I mean, what's booing Ben Simmons going to do now? You got James Harden and Joel Embiid. You got to focus your energy
Yeah.
somewhere positively.
Well, you hope that Ben and James beat them by 40, then you can really heckle Ben. Dog, it's going to get real, real ugly if Ben has to step on the floor and play the Sixers in the playoffs without playing there Thursday. It's going to be real ugly. He talking about his mental well-being now. Wait till this third quarter. He's shooting free throws, airballing free throws.
They gonna
Good
say the
luck,
same
kid.
thing they've been saying, airball.
Good luck, kid. Nah.
Yo, do you
yeah.
think the Lakers going forward should listen to LeBron, particularly this offseason when they're constructing their roster?
Yes, they should.
Isn't that how they got into this Westbrook debacle?
Doesn't matter. LeBron has built championship teams before. He can build it again.
Yeah.
What else you gonna do? Trust Rob Pelinka? You might not do everything LeBron says, but you say, hey, like, what do you think? Like, what is your vision for next year? And then build around that.
I
But
think another good, solid, either big man or solid point guard is needed. I think we're going to need someone. If it's another big man, it's like a center that can really play and help AD. If it's a point guard, then it's like another good versatile defender who can also space the floor and shoot a little bit. Also, help Braun play off ball. But to answer the question, I mean, I kind of lean on the side of no because that's how we got in this Westbrook debacle. But what the hell else do we have to do? Because if I have to think of someone to trust between Rob Pelinka and LeBron James, I'm going to trust LeBron James, but it's not really saying much.
I will say that for the people, like, this is LeBron's MO, right? Like, he goes to a franchise, he sucks at drive assets, pause, and then he moves to the next franchise, right? Like, this is what he does. So, like, I don't know why Lakers fans are upset, but he did it in Miami, he did it in Cleveland the second time, and he's doing it again in LA. Like, he's going to use every asset at his disposal to win now, because that's what you do when you have LeBron James. You win now.
Yeah, I mean, he's won everywhere he's went to, so gotta trust his way, right?
This is what he does.
All right, few things. I want to just round some things off. So let's start with the biggest news in the North.
Let's do it.
The GOAT himself, the greatest to ever do it, Aaron fucking Rodgers, announced he is coming back to the fucking Green Bay Packers.
Let's go.
So I'm going to start by saying this and going on this soliloquy for a little bit. To you Broncos fans, kiss my ass.
Well, they're not sad.
You guys got Russell Wilson, but that's like asking your side chick to go to the prom when you have the main girl told you she got a boyfriend. It hurts, don't it? Fuck out of here. Steeler fans, I'm sorry, dog. Deshaun might be on the way though. Who else? Who else? Washington fans, y'all didn't even have a chance. Bye
No.
bye. Who else? Who are the other teams they told me was in the running? Um, Oh, my favorite 49ers fans. How could I forget? Y'all told me he was going to come to San Fran. It was going to be the Garoppolo for Rodgers trade. Oh, we can't beat him in the playoffs. Might as well join him. Well, enjoy porn star Jimmy in the projects for even longer. That's why your division just won the Super Bowl and you didn't, you fucking bum asses. So, shout out to the pack. Shout out to the team. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
I don't know. I don't know. There's nothing to add to that.
Gunshots.
Yeah, unload the clip on him.
Because I told y'all. Y'all saw it. Kyle says, I think clearly the Broncos wanted Rodgers, and that's why they made the trade for Wilson only when they were 100% certain they were not getting Rodgers. Oh, absolutely, Kyle. And I bet you the Broncos were probably feeding the press information. Yo, we thinking he coming here. We got some inside scoop. We thinking he coming here and hit him with the whoop-de-doop. Now I got to go with fucking Russell Wilson, which is a great quarterback, by the way. Weeks 1 through 8, 1 through 9. Wait till week 11 get here. And he's going 11 for 33, 150 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And y'all are losing 27-24 to the Las Vegas Raiders. And you're wondering, why is Derek Carr outperforming Russell Wilson? Well, I'm here to tell you, baby, it's because sometimes you get them dudes, but then they're only them dudes because them other dudes ain't walked into the building yet.
Who?
And number 12 in Green Bay, they made him a $50 million man a year. I don't even understand the numbers, but damn the numbers. Fuck the cap. The cap don't exist. I'm convinced now, really.
It does not
Stop
exist.
playing with my goat. 12. I'm ready to get my heart broken for 4 more years, baby. Just give me one more.
Speaking of which, completely off the cuff, DK Metcalf, it's time for you to leave Seattle. You know what to do. You can either catch hospital balls from Drew Lock, or you can go.
DK got to pull a full James Harden. I just don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that. You got to.
I can't do this.
Yo, DK,
him
come on,
and Jamal
Bay,
Adams.
DK, come to Green Bay, baby. We got you. Kyle says, I assume Zadarius Smith will be cut by the weekend. Yeah, Kyle, with this Rodgers thing, I don't really know what's going to happen with.
And you tagged Devontae Adams too.
Yeah, we franchise tagged Devontae Adams. I don't really know what's going to happen in terms of some of these other contracts or players that we want to bring back. So no final numbers have been put out. So we'll wait to see. So hopefully it's a team friendly deal that will have some good players coming back. All right, next thing I wanted to fire off at you, Luca Doncic has been on a crazy tear. I've been seeing his games. He's nasty. That boy can play. Ooh, that boy bad. Yes. Should he be a legit MVP candidate?
I do want to take a moment to acknowledge that Luca murked Steph twice in 1 week, and he cooked LeBron. Like last week was a really special week for me seeing that. And last night he put Rudy Gobert in the torture rack. He'll do it again in the playoffs because right now the Mavs will play the Jazz. He should be in the conversation, but he should not be a legitimate candidate. He came into the season out of overweight.
Yeah.
And then he had ankle issues at the beginning of the year. Meanwhile, Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis, DeMar, they've been playing at a high level since the beginning.
Jokic can play.
That boy Jokic. Embiid is still the MVP.
That boy Jokic bad.
But Jokic, that fourth quarter the other night,
he nasty.
But here's the thing, though, and this is the thing that really frustrates me. Oh, here come another bot. Jokic has a quarter like that, and the world explodes. Like this week, Joel beat the hell out of a whole. Like last week, Joel had 40 and 10. Like Joel, he beating people's ass, and he's dominant when he's doing it. Like Jokic is kind of a finesse. Here's a cool pass. Here's a little ugly jump shot. And Embiid's like, nah, dog, I'm going to put you on this block and I'm going to yam on you. Pause. And to me, that is more impressive than what we're seeing out of Jokic. I just want to be doing MVP. I really do.
I think Joel is going to win MVP, but man, that Joker Jokic is bad. He can
He's
play. He can
he
play.
and Michael
That's why he
Porter's
won
coming
MVP
back
last
this
year.
week apparently, and so is Jamal Murray. All that to lose in the second round because that's how this Denver story goes. Every year they trick us to think they're going to win the title. Every year, like
They
this
might get
time,
it.
every single year, Denver does something. Like last year, it was a trade for Aaron Gordon. Every single year,
They might. Wait, just wait.
Denver get us believing around this time of year that yep, they're gonna make a title run, and then they lose in the second round. They might make it to the Western Conference Finals, but they're gonna lose this second round, and we're gonna be back here next year.
What do you think about LeBron's 56 piece?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Hey, when Bron cooking,
He still got
nasty.
it, man.
It's nasty.
Like, I don't know how people can watch that game and just start hating on Bron. I don't understand it.
I don't see how people watch that game and tell me there's a better basketball player all time. I'm sorry.
I'll listen to that. You know how I feel who the greatest of all time is. It's Kareem, baby.
I mean,
all-time leading scorer, never shot a three-pointer. That's all I got to say.
Hey, Kareem was bad, but yo, it's funny. Do you remember that? You see that clip from the game when Jeff Van Gundy was like, heat checks barely work. Bron just throws up like a crazy heat check three. Cash money. He said, well, I'm wrong. I was wrong. Like, yeah,
that it's scripted. That felt like WWE. Like that felt like it was scripted.
Did you see anything from the NFL Combine that stuck out to you? There's a lot of speed in this draft.
Listen, man. Only thing I care about is that kid from Georgia, Jordan Davis. Damn,
falling to y'all. Let me tell you something.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying like men his size should not move like that.
If 4'7", 410 pounds was running at me, I don't know if I'd really want to collect that check.
Take the sack.
No, sack, boy, I'm throwing it away. Get me out the way.
And he might fall. I told you, but we got a lot of ammunition. And the other thing, Malik Willis in a very weak QB draft seems to be QB1. He'll be in Seattle.
No one's hype about Kenny Pickett.
I mean, all I read last week, and I hate saying this because I hate when they talk about his hand size. How small his hands are.
Hand size, because that'll.
Hey, I don't know, man. All I know is every highlight I saw of Malik Willis, that boy can sling it.
No, he can play. He can play.
They keep talking he Josh Allen, and I feel like people need to realize Josh Allen was an anomaly. That is not the norm.
It's not him or Mahomes.
Or Mahomes.
Or Action Jackson. Don't ever think we're going to get another Action Jackson.
We'll never get another. But yeah, I feel like Malik will go down to Seattle.
We'll see. Wouldn't be a bad pickup for him, would it? I guess.
No, it gives your fans hope because right now they are in shambles.
Well, they hurt. They upset.
Right now they asking for the Supersonics. They cheering for the Kraken. That's their hockey.
I was going to say they only hope is the Kraken.
That's it. That's all you got.
Don't ever let Seattle Kraken fans get to beef with anyone on Twitter, because I'm gonna tell you right now, them jokes are gonna write themselves. Them jokes gonna write themselves. Yo, I'm gonna let you. Yo, could you imagine somebody from like New York beef, like a New York Rangers fan beef, or a Rangers fan beefing with a Kraken fan? They're gonna be like, "Boy, I know you ain't talking. Have you seen your team name? Get out of here yet."
Oh, it's censored. But those uniforms are fire. Like the colorway for the Kraken, like the uniform. But you got to have it. If your name is the Kraken, you got to be fire. You better have the best talent. Your uniforms better be tight.
The Kraken. They're gonna be like, "Oh, Kraken, huh? Yeah, all right."
They're gonna bring white hoods to the game.
My woke folks gonna be like, Kraken, if you think about it, my brother, it's just another way for the white man to plot on ice.
That's right. We're playing on white ice, hitting a black puck. Dog, get right to itself.
Oh my gosh. Yo, tell the people where they should follow you at, man.
You can find me on the Bird app at MattAds14. Tonight, I forgot. Like I've been tweeting fire lately, and it's not getting noticed, and I'm very upset. I've been on a roll.
Let them know. Talk your shit. Speak on it.
DK Metcalf, you know what to
Follow
do.
my boy.
DK Metcalf, you know what to do. It's time. Do you want to catch hospital balls from Drew Lock?
Yo, I tweeted earlier today. DK, I mean, the Eagles need to put in the call for DK. I mean,
oh hell yeah! Or if you think you can get Amari Cooper, I'd rather have DK over Amari though. Like you have 3. I wouldn't even trade a first round pick for Amari. I mean, for DK, I'd say, hey dog, I'll give you a third, Fletcher Cox, Jalen Reagor.
Fam, don't you dangle Jalen Reagor out there like some team's gonna be like, ooh, Jalen Reagor. Matter of fact, they might see Jalen Reagor and feel offended. They might reject y'all off of that.
Jalen Reagor is fast, and there's some team that'll fall in love with fast. Nelson Aguilar got multiple chances, but he proved he had one good season. Jalen has had 0 good seasons.
Fair enough.
Where can the people find you, D?
Yo, make sure y'all follow the boy at Los Dmix as at LOSDEE. No, okay, let me start over. At LOSDEEMIX. That's 2 E's. 2 E's, people. Make sure y'all follow the pod at @speakon_pod. I'm getting a lot of love. I'm glad the people out here. Yo, people I be outside, people be chatting with me. Yo, what can I get on your podcast? I've been hearing you talk. So shout out to everyone out here showing love and whatnot.
Maybe we should have more guests.
Yeah, we should. We do for a second guest, so we're gonna bring somebody up here soon. Let's see what they have to speak on and see what they think about some of our takes, and maybe then someone else will see how you always find a way to bring the Eagles into every episode. 52 episodes strong now of Eagles talk.
52 more. It's a skill.
All right, people. Y'all know where to find us, and if you don't, then speak on it because we gonna be here. And to all my real ones out here, go drink you a beer.
Peace.
Hey.